What's good, everybody? Just getting signed in here. Looks like we're good with Facebook. Facebook looks live. YouTube just joined in too. So we're just waiting for Twitch, guys. So what's good, everybody? This is Soheil back with Feel Good Threads. Got another continuation here of a pair of shoes that we were working on yesterday. I think I only got like an hour in yesterday. So I wanted to just continue and show you guys more of the process on how to get like detailed print on your shoes. Today I'm working on, I think, can you guys see that? Let me make sure that oh yeah, duh, I should probably make sure the audio and the video is good. So let's see here. I can't hear you on AOL chat. Very funny, dude. Alright, can you hear me though? Are you guys good to hear me first? Let me make sure that before I start rambling on that y'all could hear me. So give me an okay if you guys could hear me first, but let me show you guys detail on what we're working on here. This is we're doing some bumblebees today. Speed Infusion, can you hear me okay? So now we got some people on Facebook. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. As we wait for some people to jump on, I'm just going to clean up a little bit, get everything organized, so then when we're ready to jump off, we can just get going on this. Oh, before I forget, man, I always do this. I always get into the project and forget to put the links up of all the things I'm using. So let me drop that in real quick. Come on, bro. You look very busy. Well, cornball and a half. I swear you're a cornball and a half, dude. So for those of you just joining the stream or you've never been on before, Speed Infusion is the admin. So if you see a lot of corny jokes coming from Speed Infusion, you are allowed to officially clown that dude whenever you like. So just go ahead and just rattle off, just burn him. It's no worries at all in here. Actually, you get bonus points if you burn him really well and we get enough laughs. Nah, I'm playing. Speed Infusion is the admin, guys. So as usual, sound looks good, video is good because of him. Corny jokes are supplemental, so if you guys want to try to ignore that, you can. I just put the links up, guys, on YouTube. It looks like they should be on all three platforms right now. We look like we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook and YouTube. So let's start jumping into it, man. Yesterday, where were we at yesterday? We were making this bee here, and I think I put maybe, I'm gonna say about 30 minutes more into this bee before I just kind of called it quits. The last step that we had left this was we peeled off the actual stencil around it. Let me see if I got that stencil still. It's kind of thrown away. I tossed it, but it was just standard vinyl stencil, right? We dropped that on. We painted the outer shell really, really carefully so we didn't get any splatter on the rest of the shoe. And then after that, I jumped into actually defining the inside body of it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what I used. So first off, this guy right here was what I used yesterday after jumping offline, taking a break, and then jumping back on. This is the Princeton. It's called the Mini Detailer. I'm so used to using the blue ones, the selects now, but this brush right here is kind of like, I love it because it has so many small features about it. It's really comfortable to use, but let alone the comfort, performance-wise, it's a great tool for if you need to shade the inside of the bee. You can shade really well. It's got just enough of an angular tip for that. You can just put a little bit of paint on just the highest tip there and use it for line work, for drawing hairs. There's so many different small things that you need for detailing, and this guy right here covers a lot of those bases. So I did put the link up, I believe, on that. Let me see. Yeah, it's up there right after the Get the Paint from Alpha 6. The Princeton 12-0 Angular Shader Detail Brush. That's this brush right here that I'm going to be using today. And really, what I did with this was I just mixed a little bit of both the colors we had yesterday, which was in the airbrush was mustard, and then I used some black. Where did the black go? The black's somewhere around here. And I just kind of mixed the two and started to shade them to kind of get more in between colors, more browns, you know, more darker hues. And so now after we're done with this point, and I didn't put this link up. I knew I forgot a link, but I'll get a link up for you guys. Is when I'll use this guy right here. This is a Micron Pigma brush, and I'll use this here for like small detail work. Let me show you something. What I mean by that is, just for example, if you're like defining small hairs, let me kind of get up a little bit closer so y'all could see this. See, instead of trying to get it like on a brush and get paint out and all that, you know, jazz, this is, I mean, I feel like the more easier way to do small detailing, fine detailing. And this is the point where I like to get to when it get to like simulating things that look realistic. If you need to get small hair fibers, this is definitely the easier way to go. So let me show you guys. I don't even know if that'll show up, how fine that is. Let me know if you guys could see it. I'm making them so fine that that's probably how thin they would be on an actual bee. And then you can use this to draw like the small hands of the bee, you know, things that are super tiny and small, that you feel like if you put too much paint on the brush, it's gonna, you know, just kind of like overwhelm that little area, and you need something a lot thinner. This would be the go-to right here. So I'll put that in links when I get a chance, but the same links that you guys see that I just posted in the chat, guys, if you ever need them for reference, I also put them in the description. So I'm going to start doing that now. That way you guys have access to like, oh, you know, I needed that brush or that pen. You guys will have a spot. I think you just click on the title, and the title should have like a drop down, and on the drop down I'll leave all the links for everything I use now. So yeah, this kind of stuff takes time because, well, duh, I mean, it just takes time. You're really getting into the nitty gritty of like getting the detail work down here, trying to get realism. So, and that's what I'm aiming for. I'm trying to aim for somebody sees it from a distance, that they'll actually think that this is a bee that's flying by the shoe. So other things that I'm going to be looking at doing, guys, is this today Wednesday? I think today is Wednesday, right? Woo Wednesdays. That's true. What's up, Wade? Sorry, I just looked at the comments and I just saw Wade comment about Woo Wednesday. It's funny. Good point. How you been, man? Everything good? Yeah, it is a Woo Wednesday. You can definitely say that. So yeah, that goes a little bit of, you know, detail work just to show you guys how I use the pen here. Not everything needs to be paint, you know what I mean? I mean, paint is great because it can cover larger portions of the shoe, or you can get fine detailing done with blending different paints. But when it gets down to like that little thin line work, I mean, you know, think smarter, not harder, right? So I'll put this up in the links when I get a chance, guys. Thank you, Wade. I appreciate that, man. Let me just say what's up to everybody. Who hasn't said what's up, man? Y'all on the stream and not saying what's up? That's kind of rude, y'all. Say what's up, man, if you guys are in the building, man. I see people here on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitch, so shout out to you guys. I know we just came on unannounced. I kind of like that, man, just coming on unannounced, because y'all could, you know, it's the usual suspects, people who have already subscribed and know what's up, you know what I mean? So, Punky B, what's good, homie? How you living, man? Wait, I know you're busy, bro. You're always busy. Not a bad thing, though, right? Punky B, how's life, man? Appleman, what's good, Adam? How you living, man? I heard everybody's sick over there, bro. Y'all stay away from me. I've been healthy. Besides not going to the gym, I've been healthy. Alright, let's drop. So we're going to cover this up now, okay? I'm going to get to the next B because I can't talk about that same B for too long. You guys are going to get bored. Alright, so I'm going to just cover this up. I'm using the blue tape. I like the blue tape a lot because, you know, when I'm trying to lock in the stencil, the vinyl is very, very sticky and it'll lock in well. Everything around it, though, doesn't need to be necessarily, like, super locked in. It just needs to be locked in to the point where, like, you know for sure paint's not going to seep through. So I'm over here just now. See, this is just extra pieces that I've had. You can see here, this was another B. So instead of wasting material, I'm now going back in and seeing whatever I could recover. I mean, that's always a good little tip, you know. Try to recover whatever you can. This is easily recoverable here, so let's take these little pieces off. That'll save you all some money. See? Got that one down. That's locked. And then we got just enough. Another thing too, which is nice, is once you do a little bit of recycling on this, these pieces now are not as sticky too. So if you ever have, like, for example, like suede or any nubuck, something that's really sensitive to adhesive, you'd want to go with this kind of a tape over your regular masking tape, because the regular masking tape, which I mean, when I mean regular masking tape, I mean this guy right here. This is super sticky. It's very tacky. It's gonna leave that residue on your shoe afterwards. This is a way safer bet. So for those of you that, you know, don't have blue tape, you should definitely pick some up if you can. It is a little pricey. That's the thing, you know, because I think it's just expensive. You know, it's good quality tape, and good quality tape, you know, it's you get what you pay for, right? So now I'm just kind of covering up this other side too here. This time around, now that I'm getting more comfortable with, like, how the process is working, I'm gonna now well, obviously I'm gonna recycle these sheets, but now that I know how it's working, I'm gonna try to do 2 at a time. That way it'll start to speed up the process a little bit. And the way things are going, we've got to get these given to him by this Friday is my goal to aim, which is just in 2 days. So Alex is coming to shoot them Friday. And so I need to get them done technically by tomorrow. But I'm sure I'm going to spend an all-nighter or two just to get them finalized, you know. Alright, so I've got one guy here. See that one right there? And we've got one guy here on the side. Now, yesterday, I introduced some products that I'm still getting accustomed to using myself. So it's kind of nice to see that yesterday was pretty successful. But just if you missed yesterday's stream, just go back. You can go on YouTube, check out that stream. But I used this here yesterday. It was called LK Shoes Inner Coat. And it actually is for use with stencils. Alright, so if you guys haven't used this, which, you know, I'm just now getting used to it. Like, I was talking to Webb's Custom Kicks the other day, for example. And Webb's, Quan, he uses this quite a bit. And now I see why. Because when I was preparing these bees, when I painted it without this stuff, it stuck onto the actual stencil. So when I peeled this stencil off, it was peeling the bee off too. And so you definitely don't want that to happen, number one. Number two, the thing that happened was, well, the leather, for some reason, it's not bonding as well as it usually does. So you don't want any bleeding. And you can see this one is really close to this second panel. It's coming off a little bit. I'm having him creep onto the next panel. So, you know, you really want to make sure things are locked in and we're not having our paint bleed underneath the stencil, and then when you pick it up, it's all messy. All right, so that's what this does as well. Did I leave a link for that? I got to double check. If not, it is lktopcoats.com, And then you can use my discount code is just the code feel good, and you can get this at a discount. So this worked out really well yesterday, man. I'm hoping we go 2 for 2. Let's test that out. Once we get that inner coat laid out, then I'm going to lay down some just white paint, and that way it can kind of help bring the bee out from the shoe a little bit. I feel like when you use just a nice white base, when you use a white base, you have that opportunity to bring a dimension, like a third dimension, to the actual object. So I want them to look realistic. I want it to almost have a little bit more of a layer than the actual shoe where the shoe's at, so it kind of comes up a little bit. So today I'm using Alpha Flex white paint. This is just a white regular for water, acrylic, paper, wood, all kinds of crazy stuff. You could read the directions on that. I did leave the link for that above for sure. All right, let me just, again, if you guys just joined, I'll leave the link one more time. This is for all the stuff I'm using. Bam. I just put that up on the chat, and we're going to be using this Iwata HPCS. This is an airbrush. Nice and clean. I cleaned it out, so y'all don't have to watch me clean this thing again. And let's start off. Let's drop a little bit of inner coat into the airbrush. I put the links for the airbrush and the compressor. You'll need both. You need something to power the airbrush. That's what this line is. Let's drop a couple of drops in here and see how that goes. So yesterday I did about 2 layers of inner coat. So you notice I probably put about 5 or 6 drops. And I'm going to just start with this guy here on the left. I like to hit it like top down. And just a real light coat. See that? That looks good. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this one here. This one is facing you guys. I'm going to just kind of face it towards me and angle it. And I'm going to add just a smidge of adhesion promoter. So give me a sec, guys. I got a little bit of sole there. Y'all see the little bit of white right there? That's a little bit of the sole. And I know I get really like particular about this. Like I don't probably need to hit it with too hard. Not too hard, but adhesion promoter. But I'm going to anyways, you know what I mean? So before I do that though, let me say what's up to everybody, man. I say what's up to Adam, Appleman, what's good? Got your 6. You got the kids? Yeah, I feel you. I know. How did you end up giving your oh, I shouldn't say. But did you ever get did you ever get those shoes over to her? Let me know. Dominica, what's good? How you living? Dominica's over on YouTube. The homie, what's good, Scrawny Johnny? How's life, man? Okay, so got your 6 that I use a lot, and it's well worth the dough. Is that the inner coat you're talking about? Sorry, I just jumped into the conversation, so I just had a chance to see, bro. Killing the Villain. That's a dope name, man. I like that. Finally able to make a stream. I never get your notifications, even when they're on. Dude, we gotta figure that out, man. I don't understand why you guys aren't getting notifications. Oh, I know why. You hit the notification bell? I mean, that's the one thing that I could think of. If you have, maybe you want to turn it off and then turn it back on. So just toggle it off and toggle it on. I don't know. I'm not YouTube. Maybe that'll work out. You know what I mean? I know, Dominica, it's your first time making it too. Man, that's exciting, dude. We got a lot of new folks on, man. I like that. Actually, Speed Infusion, are you on right now? Speed Infusion, let me know if you're on, bro. Let me grab that adhesion promoter real quick, guys. I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so Got Your 6 uses inner coat a lot too. Man, good noting that, because a lot of you guys are using all these products that I'm just really now getting into. Alright, let's get this adhesion promoter. Where you at, dog? Here we go. Alright. Cool. Don't you like it when you have no clue if you're going to find that product and it's sitting right there in front of you on the shelf? That's awesome. Alright, so I'm going to try not to use a lot of this. And I'll tell you why, because I'm using a stencil here and I don't want it to really stick to the stencil. if I have it stick to the stencil, if I use too much, it's gonna like basically be like one whole layer. So when you peel off the stencil at the end, it's gonna peel off your bee at the same time. Okay, so just giving you a heads up, don't use a lot of this. If it starts to gunk up and it's attaching both, you might have that situation happen. So I'm gonna just mark this off a little bit. There you go. Now see, I didn't use a lot. It's just a quick spritz. And by the way, this smells a lot. I should mention you guys should have like an area where there's ventilation, a fan or something. I got a fan right here going on. Actually, it's super hot today, man. But yeah, you guys just want to make sure that it's ventilated properly when you guys hit this. I definitely don't have my kids around or anyone who's sensitive to this stuff, because it can get in their lungs and you don't want that to happen. All right, so disclaimer there. Just be careful with that, especially around kids. All right, let's do a second coat. We got a second coat of inner coat jumping on. It's my favorite brush because when I shoot with it, it's kind of like, when you have like different cars and you can hit the gas pedal on it and you just feel how smooth it takes off. That's what this brush feels like to me. I've worked with a lot of different brushes, but this one happens to just always lay out like the paint real smooth. So if you need a nice brush, if you're starting, if you need a recommendation, the wider brush, man, this is the HPCS. And this brush, man, it's been my first brush, and I think it'll probably be my last brush. I don't think I'll find a better brush than that. I mean, who knows? I haven't tried that many brushes, but if there's going to be a brush that I would work with all the time, it's this brush right here. Again, I've got other brushes, and they're great, so I'm not knocking all the other brushes. But this brush right here, I started with it. It's never given me any issues. Alongside with the compressor, has never given me any issues. I know I'm cheap. I just dropped all that inner coat back in here. I mean, yeah, it's saving material, and it was in a clean bowl. So let's go ahead and just take out the inner coat now. I'm just doing like not a thorough rinse here, just trying to knock out a little bit of that inner coat, because we've gotten the use out of it now. And I want to make sure that now when I spray this guy, because I had an issue yesterday, if you guys were with us, I want to make sure this is completely clean. Alright. I don't like the way that kind of left the airbrush, so let me just double check the nozzle. See here in the front, sometimes you'll get paint or residue. I don't see anything like that, so let me just open this guy up real quick. And the reason I say just make sure that the brush is nice and clean here is because you don't want it to be splattering around everywhere and mess up your shoe. So let me just go ahead and take this needle out. Let's clean the needle off. I want everything to be nice and smooth, so I went from I'm just gonna rinse it out to really just going into it. So you guys could really just clean this off with a paper towel here. Get that clean. Now I'm going to look through this nozzle here, and I want you guys to tell me, can you guys see a white hole through here or not? Well, it should be blue right now because it's above that blue masking tape, but let's move it to the white. Alright, so just from my point of view, I can't see any hole through there, so I got to clean that out. Alright, and the way I clean it out is pretty simple. Where did that needle go? So I take the same needle we just cleaned off, and I'm just gonna poke. Just poke a little bit. Not like jam it, just poke it through real gently, and then you'll see if there's any paint that comes out or residue. See, there's a sticky residue that comes out here, and that makes sense, right? It was just the inner coat. So I'm just poking any extra inner coat out. Be careful with your finger. You don't want to poke your finger here. I don't know if y'all could see that or not, but yeah, there was definitely inner coat in there. And now when I look through it, I could see a white hole. Y'all see that? Should be blue here, white here. But that's where you want to get to before you start spraying your base coat. Make sure your nozzle here is nice and clean. I'm not going to get stuck today. Yesterday I got stuck and had to break this whole thing down. So if you were here yesterday, you feel my struggle. You feel me? All right, let's put this together real quick and let's start shooting. All right, so nozzle on first. Really make sure that that's tight, because if there's air in between this, then you're gonna have issues shooting. Oh, drop that. Sorry, y'all. Let me grab that. Oh. All right, so this is the nozzle cap. Really carefully just drop that back on. Tighten it by hand. Feels good. And now we got the needle that I'm just gonna really carefully just knock it in. As I put it through, I always make sure that nothing comes through that cup there, okay? So as I go through, I just check, because sometimes in the body there's gonna be paint left, and you don't want to just drag that in to the front. There we go. Especially if you're shooting like a white and you have red paint back here, it's going to take that paint all the way through to the front. You're going to put your white paint in and you're going to wonder, why do I have pink paint coming out? It's because you dragged that red paint through and didn't clean the brush right. All right, and right now we are going to shoot white, so let's get that white out. Let's get that white out. All right, white's sitting right in front of you. Going to look everywhere except for where it's exactly at. Sneaky Ricky, what's good, homie? Sneaky Ricky on Twitch. You can hear that ball, right? It's breaking up all the paint. And that's why this paint usually comes out nice and thin, because it has something breaking it down. You know, like when you have this paint just sitting, then all of the stuff that's thick kind of just falls to the bottom, right? All the thickness, and you're not getting the actual right concentration of paint how they want it, how they want you to actually use it. So make sure you mix that up. Dominica said, anybody have any thoughts on Creatix adhesion promoter? I bought it, but is it good for customs? I'm super new in my 3rd month. Let me know. Okay. So Dominica, you talking this one? Creatix colors Tim Gore's Bloodline. Super liquidy. Let me know if that's what you're talking about. All right, let's drop some white in here. So I'm going to drop white. Make sure that stencil's laid down nice, right? I just give it a quick tap, nothing crazy. You know, I just want to lock in all the edges. And now we'll drop. Ooh. Sorry to do it by one hand sometimes. There we go. Cool. You guys good? You guys can see, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't know. I think I overdid it. I always overdo this white. Yeah, I've used. Well, I'm gonna say I used it. Yeah, of course, because I have it here, right? I think it's really good. I use it for. Oh, sorry. I should probably tell you guys. I'm gonna start laying out a light coat, but Dominica, I use it for. I used to use it for Jordan 11s for patent leather. You know, because it has a very like flexible surface, and the origin of that stuff, it's really funny because if you look at it, it doesn't look like it's something used for shoes. It says Tim Gore's like Bloodline, and it looks all crazy like a horror movie kind of a thing, right? What it actually is used for is for movie props. And what they use that for is when they're doing, like, say, for example, like a Freddy Krueger, or they're masking somebody with a different face mask, and they need to start painting their face. They use that, and that is kind of like a primer to latch onto the latex. So anything that's kind of like latex based, that stuff works really well on. That's the whole point of it. So yeah, definitely I give you my approval on that. And then Dominica, I believe you're also a Patreon family too, right? Shout out to you, man, if you are. Y'all see the light coat? Like it's snowing. There we go. Hey, thank you so much for being part of the Patreon fam. I really appreciate that. We've talked quite a bit on Facebook and also through Patreon as well. So if you ever have any questions like that, please feel free to hit me up, especially through the Patreon channel, because I answer all the Patreon people. They're priority for me. Okay, so I really appreciate that. Rainian, what's good, man? You did come late. It's all good though. We have a restream of it, so it's all good. Glad to see you back, homie. We're just working on new pieces, new bees. So you haven't missed much. We're kind of just in the same boat as we were yesterday, where I'm just creating the base coat for them, getting just that mapping for them down on the actual shoe. So yeah, you haven't missed much. But thanks for rolling back, man. I appreciate that. Gotcha 6 uses like everything. He says, I use Creatix. It's legit. Wade's used like one of everything. We just, from now on, just be like, yo, Wade, have you tried this? And Wade will probably give you your opinion on it. You'll be good. Awesome. Thank you, Dominica. All right, y'all. So far, so good, right? We've gotten a couple of light coats on there. Nothing too heavy. I'm just laying enough down where I can start to see like where the shape of the bees will be, okay? So let me go ahead and I'm going to do another one. I've got by the way, a fan is just blowing right here too. So it's kind of, drying off the artwork at the same time. And then I also got to be conscious of like where the airbrush is spraying, because the airbrush is hitting straight and then kind of, skirting over to the right a little bit. But, these are light pieces, so I think we'll be all right. All right, that's the second layer down of white there. This one I can still see the yellow. So, I don't necessarily need to kill the yellow because I'm going to go back on top of it. But I really like to start off with more of a white base. Y'all notice how I pull the shoe like more closer to me? And I'm just shooting more of a top down here. Top down meaning like straight up on it, okay? Not like at an angle where like I can creep underneath the stencil on accident. This is going to lay it straight down on the actual stencil. And by the way, Dominica, you'd be able to use that Creatix on the sole as well. So if I dropped a little bit of that on the sole, that definitely wouldn't hurt. That would be actually, you want to use that first. How you use that stuff is you just lay it down by itself in the beginning. You don't put paint in it or anything. You lay it down by itself. You let it dry. And then once it dries, then you can lay down your paints. Y'all coming up with some really good questions today, man. I like that. I like that you guys are actually engaged and talking and stuff, so... Is Speed Infusion back yet? Speed Infusion, did I see you or nah? Where you at, bro? Alright. So I just dumped out that extra. It wasn't a lot. I just dumped out the little bit I had back up in here. Anytime I have like a clean airbrush and I know it's just, extra paint that I could be saving, you could always just drop it back in. Alright, let's clean this guy out. We're going to rinse that out now. And now I'm going to get into a mix of different colors. So let's... The good part about this now, we got white in here. We don't have to necessarily go super in depth cleaning this out. So I'm gonna just grab a Q-tip here and grab out a good majority of it. I like to try to pull it out. Dilab, what's good, Patreon fam? How many Patreon fam we got on today, man? I know Dominica's on, Sneaky Ricky. We got my boy Alan, the Dilab. Anybody else on? Alright, so now I'm just kind of grabbing out any extra paint, rummaging out whatever I can. That looks good, right? I got a good majority of it out. Yo, Speed Infusion. We've got new people on, bro. Let's do a giveaway. I like when it's people on that just got the notification and they're just jumping on. So every now and again, we'll do a giveaway. It's always good, right? It's always fun to give some stuff away. I guess we should figure out what we should give away, though. I think I got a good idea here, if I could find it. Let's see. There we go. All right, cool. Cleaned all that out. All right, let's see here. All right, so I've been waiting for good weather because I got a set of sunglasses here. Actually, I got two sets of sunglasses here. One of them, these are by Gooder, by the way. Gooder sunglasses. And I think this is a good time to give away a set of sunglasses because the weather's been super nice, yo. So one of them is called Iced by Yetis, and the other one's called Whiskey Shots with Satan. That's a pretty crazy name, yo. But yeah, these are great glasses, man. A lot of people use these sunglasses just casually, but from what I understand, they're supposed to be for runners. A lot of runners like them because they're like a non-slip. Nice little case. So let's give some sunglasses away, man. We're gonna wait for Speed Infusion to jump back on, and as soon as he jumps back on, we'll do a raffle for him. Some free sunglasses for the spring, summer now, right? That's never a bad thing. And then whoever wins gets to choose between the two of those. All right, let's do it. Y'all better start tagging Speed Infusion if this fool's asleep. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I did my part. I told y'all what the prize is, so hopefully this fool comes through like quick style. He's gonna be like, "Yo, my bad. I was taking a nap. What did I miss? You missed giving out sunglasses, bro. Everybody hates you on the stream now." All right, one more quick cleanup. Lost my train of thought. There we go. All right, let's get this trash can by me. And I'm going to use this little guy here. This is a interdental brush, just to get any little side gunk that I see. You don't want it to be like gunky anywhere inside the brush, because that means it's going to start to clog in the front. See that in the front here? Y'all see it's already starting to clog. It's starting to get bits of white. So good idea to just take all that off. Otherwise the paint won't have any exit point here. Alright, so let's just test it. Let's make sure. I always drop a little bit of acetone in there. And then let's see if let's see how it rolls out. Roll out? Ludacris just came out with another album, I heard too. Which I really like Ludacris, so kinda excited to listen to that. Okay, let's do some yellow. Dropping a little bit of yellow in here. 3 drops, 4 drops? I don't know. Let's do 4 drops. I don't like to waste paint, guys. One thing that you can control is supply, you know. All right, so we put a little bit of that. Let's drop. Should probably see what a bee looks like now, huh? How can we do that? Oh, duh. I've got my iPad right here. You could just pull it up on the iPad. You know, let me text this dude, man. Speed Infusion, where you at, dog? I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna text him for you guys. At this point, I've tried my best. Can we do a raffle now? Cool. Alright, I just texted him, y'all. So let's see he'll jump on real quick. Oh my god. Why are you gonna say what like that, bro? What? We're trying to give some sunglasses away. Look, you're like late to the party, dog. Yes, you will, bro. That's you got one job, and that's to give stuff away, homie. Alright, so one of them, mail them to you. Yeah, right. Let's do that. I'm sure they're gonna get them. All right. So either Ice by Yetis or Whiskey Shots with Satan. The first raffle is gonna be live whenever this dude wants to be serious and actually help us start this raffle up. So let's get it. Let's go. And while he's doing that, I'm pulling up a bee. I think I told you guys before, it's always nice to have like a frame of reference. And so when I looked up a bee, I looked up the nastiest looking killer bee that I could find. That thing is ugly. So I'm just put this on the side, and that's gonna give me just kind of a frame of like where is the yellows, where's the blacks. Okay, so let me put this somewhere where it's gonna not be in your guys' way. Does that work, y'all? Is that good? Cool. You guys can still see me here. You guys can still. All right, cool. We should be straight. All right, I got yellow in here. Let's start spraying a little bit of yellow. Now I've got like little spots that I can see that I could spray. So I'm gonna start with this guy here, and it looks like the tip of his head has got a little bit of yellow. So I'll start there. Oh, before I do that, just like I told you guys yesterday, just make sure your airbrush is working okay. All right, just a tip of yellow there. Now I want all the bees to look exactly like each other, so I'm gonna do the same thing with this guy here. All right, the next part I see, and I gotta take the stencil off for this. Be right here. Don't forget there's yellow underneath here too, so. Maybe we should have called this how to speed up your projects. Technically, we're multitasking here, right? All right. As I run through, I'm going to peel off any paint in the front. Alright, so now I got a bunch of like yellow lines on his stinger. Okay, and also I got to remember the Wu-Tang logo is going to be yellow. So I'm going to just keep that as is and just try to hit the stinger up here. You guys good? I'm so happy right now, dude. Thank you so much. All right, man. So what do they got to do? They just got to hit, pound raffle. Cool. Easy enough. All right, y'all. So if y'all want to be entered in the raffle, there's not a lot of people on right now, which is great, man. This is a good opportunity for you guys to win some sunglasses. And, nice way to say thank you for supporting too, man. So Sneaky Riki's in. All y'all got to do is just hit pound raffle, man. I don't know, is there a time limit for the, not pound, sorry, exclamation mark raffle. I'm like telling people the wrong thing. Exclamation mark raffle, right? Is that what it is? Yeah, my bad. Exclamation raffle and you're gonna be joined in. No, killing the villain, please don't. 30 minutes, y'all. Y'all got 30 minutes for this raffle, okay? Killing the villain, you gotta hit exclamation, bro. My bad. That's how you know that I'm way too much on all the social media because I'm just thinking hashtags and pounds all the time. All right, that's good. I gotta put an extra bit of yellow here. We gotta get a Wu-Tang symbol there. All right, so we're good there, and I think we're okay here too. Now you guys are gonna notice I'm gonna switch brushes out. Okay, let me take this one out, and I'm gonna add some black paint into another airbrush here. So let me just grab some alpha black. Where's that alpha black at, y'all? Here it is. Also, guys, this could be a little tricky, man. So, you know, if you feel uncomfortable doing 2 at a time, just concentrate on one. The only reason I'm doing 2 at a time right now is I'm feeling comfortable with the process now. And I got to get these done. So, I mean, it's something's got to move, and it's not going to be the bees. I got to move faster. So, there we go. Cool. So I got another brush in. Let's test the brush out real quick. Make sure it's spraying, right? Oh, nothing. Interesting. This was the one giving me issues yesterday, too. Oh, something's coming. But it should be coming out in a nice smooth stream, which it's not, see? And I think I know what it is. I think that the this airbrush, this paint's not meant for an airbrush. It might be a little too thick. But let's, you know, because I have it in there, I'm going to just keep going with it. I've been using it, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. But if it becomes an issue, I might just have to jump into, just painting it by hand. Okay? So let's lay out just a little bit of black here. If I can. I don't like when it comes out sporadic, like it's coming out sporadic right now. Because, see, when it comes out sporadic, sometimes it'll just blast out. And I certainly don't want that, you know? The only good thing about this is it will give kind of a natural looking speckle print. The way it's coming out. Y'all see how it's kind of speckling out? Okay, now it's starting to run. Really getting on the inside here. Try to stay tight. Because this is his head. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same thing here. This one, I don't have a Wu-Tang stencil on, though. Alright, so... killing the villain, my bad, yo. I just saw you said you're killing me. Hey, at least I corrected it, man. Alright, now I'm going to be real tight with this one, too. Just where the head's at. His head's black, and then he's got like a little bit of yellow hair. Alright, so that's not bad, right? You can start to define that head out. And now I'm going to try to get a Wu-Tang symbol somewhat airbrushed here. Just defining the W where it's at, okay? It's not going to be perfect because the airbrush is having some slight issues, but just good enough where I could see it, you know? Antennas are black. So going over antennas. Wings. The back tail end is a little, has a stinger there. See that? And now I'm going to try, I can't promise y'all nothing, but I'm going to try to get in and do some tight lines here. But since this brush is kind of giving me issues, we'll see what happens, okay? Got one down. Yeah, it's giving me problems. I'm afraid it's gonna splatter, but I'm gonna still try it. Okay, that worked out. Okay. Look at you! Nice. Alright, cool. So we got that one done. And then these I've already got laid out. Let's see, what are we going to do that? The tail end is going to be a black. So do we have a stencil on there? Let's see. I think we do. Yeah, we do. Alright, so let's take that stencil off. Let's try to get that little spot to be black. Stencil here needs to be black. See? Same thing. It's going to be tough to do this, but I'll try it. Sorry guys if I got in your way there. Just got to take these little lines off there. Alright, here we go. Goes nothing. Alright, got a little bit there, that's good. Alright. Oh, you know what? Let me get the rest of this done. Cool. Alright, so laying a little bit of almost like speckles that are coming out here, so I like the way that they're looking. Laying down the stencil, right? Look at how those speckles come out. Just a side note, Alpha 6 came out with Airbrush paint, so that's probably going to be my next buy from them. Because what I'm using right now is actually for hand painting. But it's working, so can't complain, man. Alright, so I got that done. Cool. Switching back to that yellow now, okay? So the first thing I'm thinking about is that Wu-Tang logo. It's really needs to be defined, okay? Tustin, what's good, homie? We're making killer bees. Just announced the sunglass raffle as well, man. If you want to jump in, all you got to do is hit !raffle. There we go. I got a little bit quieter. Let me show you what we're working on here. So if you guys just joined the stream, we are working on making killer bees. And that's the bee that we're trying to emulate. Something close to it. Trying to get that realism. Cool. So as I'm looking at that, I'm trying to go back and see what colors I'm missing, what parts need to be defined a little bit more. So I'm going to put a little bit more yellow into it because I feel like it needs to be like blends of both black and yellow. This one looks a little light, and then we got to get the Wu-Tang logo also defined on it too. So let's work on both things at the same time. It's important that we get that yellow to really stand out. I want that yellow to really pop on the Wu-Tang symbol. Alright. Now this one here. Dope. So this is going to be a little bit of going back and forth. Just going back and forth, the black and the yellow. Because I'm trying to get that right combination of black and yellow together. Let's try to poke. Try to poke at the, just basically taking the needle back and forth, just to see if it'll clear up anything in the front. Let's test that out, see if that works. Something came out. Yeah, still kind of stuck, you know? That's like the mid segment of the bee. These bees are so big they got like separate segments, like the head, the midsection, and then the back, the bumblebee part of it. So it's crazy to see how big these things are. I definitely would not be walking anywhere close to these guys if I seen them around. There we go. Cool. Alright, y'all. Now that I got the good majority of them done, I'm going to start to get into... Sorry, just trying to get that little bit done there. I'm going to start getting into blending it with one more color, okay? So let's go ahead and dump out... Let's see, what should we dump out, man? I guess we'll dump out the yellow. Do the right thing yellow. Oh, man. I was painting... some Do the Right Thing 3s yesterday, so I needed this paint. Is it worth keeping? Nah. Okay, this is... It's not that much paint to actually recover, so I'm going to just leave it as is. And I'm going to drop a little bit of mustard in there. The reason I'm dropping that mustard in is just to give it some shading a little bit. And, increase the dimension, make it look a little bit more realistic. Here we go. It's a nice blend between like the two colors we just used too. It's like a in between, kind of more of a brownish, honeyish tone, mustard tone. And you guys notice I didn't even clean the airbrush out. I just dropped in the mustard. It's very close to the yellow too, so. All right. Cue the most. Just saw your comment, man. So were you getting really close and it was still splattering, or explain the situation and maybe I could help you out, bro. This airbrush is giving me problems, guys. Sorry. You can hear it leaking and it shouldn't leak. Sometimes it's perfect and then sometimes it gives me issues. So, and it's just this little thing. There's like something. There we go. You hear that? It just stops. I need to fix that piece, whatever it is. It hasn't been affecting it, which is cool, but you know, that's the kind of stuff that you want to get fixed. I like to use a white sheet to see like when is that color gonna come out that I want. It is a good time to like blend too, because now technically I got that yellow and the mustard together, right? So just put in a little bit to blend. That's just one segment there. Then he's got this crazy looking little segments here and here. That part is a little difficult to airbrush because it has a bunch of curves and stuff, so some of it you're gonna just have to do it by hand. You just want to get the color placement there though. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. I think that's pretty good, and I'm gonna just put a little bit more on his head. Cool. Should that be, looks, I think, pretty decent. Let's take off this little Wu-Tang so we could see it. Good time to probably start eliminating anything in the middle, stencil wise, because it'll start to get lost. There we go. Dominica, I don't know if you're gonna get to see a finished product today, but we'll get close. We'll get to probably what we did yesterday. All right, now I'm gonna color this yellow in on the Wu-Tang because it looks very unnatural. It looks like a very bright yellow. I'm still gonna have it there. It's just gonna look more like part of the bee. Okay, watch. I'm gonna hold my hand just to try to keep as still as possible. Remember, this is supposed to be on like a fuzzy bee, so it should look, you know, somewhat like that. Where did that Wu-Tang logo go? I could have probably used it. Dang, that sucks. I wasted that Wu-Tang logo. Because if I had it, I could have just dropped it right here, and that would have been the smart way to go. Let's see, do I have another bee here? Nah. Okay, it's all good. I'll have to improvise. Give me a second, y'all. Gotta have another bee here. Yes, sir. Let's go. Okay. Now, this one doesn't need to be as perfect because, well, it's going to be on the inside of the lace, so you won't even see it. But, you know, still going to try to get it to look right. More than likely, people won't even notice it. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, you'll get it once I peel this off. There we go. Cool. Let's switch back to black real quick. Pray this black works for me, guys. Black's not been treating me too well the last couple of days. All right. Let's get it. I'm going to just spray this with black around the Wu-Tang symbol, okay? Real light. Alright, so that'll get that Wu-Tang symbol in for me without me having to hand paint it there. I could have hand painted it too. But either way, you know, that works out. I'm going to let that just kind of settle out and dry. As that's happening, let's go ahead and just put a little bit more yellow on this guy. Or mustard, whatever you want to call it. The mustard mix. There we go. Cool. So I got a good majority of this done. Now we're going to start to unpeel, guys. We're at that point. Let me grab a quick... I got my water here. It's burning up. Burning up in California, yo. Alright. I'm going to just take this out because that's hella annoying. Alright, let me just check the comments real quick, y'all. I think we still have a contest going on if you guys just jumped on. A sunglasses raffle is going on for viewers. Use exclamation mark raffle to enter. Not pound raffle, exclamation mark raffle. And it's for a set of sunglasses by our good folks at Gooder. Gooder gave us some sunglasses to donate, to give out for the summertime. So we got 2 sets here. We've got whiskey shots with Satan and iced by Yetis. So what's your flavor, yo? White or black? It's gonna be your choice coming up real soon. Should be ending it pretty soon, I think, too, right? Dominica, we're actually doing this for Patreon, so don't worry. We got a lot more detailed stuff besides what we're doing right now on the Patreon channel. If you guys want to join, it's right here, patreon.com/feelgoodthreads. This is just the tip of the iceberg on this video, but I did want to show you guys what we're going to be doing on Patreon. This is going to be one of our next projects. We've got a bunch of different projects, but this is going to be one of them coming up, all right? So I'm feeling pretty good about both of the bees now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start unwrapping all of this hoopla we've started with, okay? When I do that, I like to do it a little bit at a time. And if you guys were here yesterday, I'm sure you guys heard me mention this, but just taking your time to peel things off like this is very important, because some of these shoes made of suede, nubuck, fabrics, right? They're very susceptible to getting messed up, so you want to just kind of take off everything around the stencil first. There we go. And now let's take off the actual stencil. So as I peel it off, I'm trying to peel it up and away. Up and away. Cool. Looking for any pieces that you missed. Really important, right? Definitely don't want to have pieces that are just sitting around on your shoe after this point. You want to take off all stencil pieces, make sure that everything here looks good. So that's straight. Now we're going to do the same thing with this guy here. Remember, I got that woo symbol here in the middle. So I got to take that off. I got hit with a little bit of the black. That's okay. We'll clean it up. The more important part is we didn't get it on the actual outside of the shoe, because really want to just protect that. If it's on the inside of the shoe, it's fixable. We can still go in. All right. Now, I think I mentioned this to you guys earlier, but I'll say it again. This B here is kind of on the inside of the laces. Y'all see that? So the first lace is going to go here. That means about half of this B is going to be covered up. All right, so now I'm not saying I'm cheating or anything, but I think this is a good position where if you needed to, you know, you're running out of time, you have to think where are the places that people are not going to be as attentive looking. And so, like, you know, if you're going to focus on B's, you probably want to focus on the ones that are more on the outer ends. But I think here, you'll see that's this is a good before and after, I guess you could even say. Let's put them the other way so you can see. So this is where I want to get to. And this is what we just did, what we just unpeeled with the stencil. I got a good look at that. So not bad, right? For airbrush work, for just getting the defining lines down, getting the colors put down. You know, you have a good idea of where things are, where his eyes are, where his head is, where the Wu-Tang symbol is, where the stinger is. So we've got all of those kind of now in place. The next step, I'm going to pull out my 12-0, and this is where I left you guys yesterday. So the good thing is today I got a little bit more time, so we could just continue. So again, thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. I hope you guys are learning something out of all this, and I'm not just filming just to film. But you know, the good part about this is you guys are kind of getting my mentality on how I approach doing this custom, you know. So I think that's hopefully it's valuable for you guys when you guys see where I'm at in my head space when I'm making this custom. This was supposed to be 1 or 2 B's at most, and then just the back of the city, the New York skyline. And now it's turned into a full-on project for me. So, you know, this is a freestyle, and it's, you know, when I freestyle, this is sometimes what happens. You know, you have like this infatuation of getting the custom. You know, you have one chance to get the custom done. You want to do it to its deserving self, right? And so this is why I'm spending a lot of time on this. All right. Let me show you guys the other B. Where's the other B at? Here we go. See, and I guess this is a good idea to show you guys. We got one B here that's still not done. I've still got time to work on this. And you know, you guys could see even, for example, the stinger here is not complete. But we're going to try to get from now this point where we were yesterday, right, somewhere around here, to now this point today. Dominica, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I just saw you said these are so perfect. I aspire to be that good for sure. You will. You said you're only 3 months in, right? Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading all the comments there. Okay, raffle's all done, y'all. So raffle winner's about to come up too. All right, y'all, let me keep jumping into the project here. So now I've got 2 B's. I've undid most of the stencil work here, and I noticed that there is overspray. No matter what I did there, I don't think I was going to really be able to get the antenna to be perfect. So let's take just a Q-tip here. This is a precision Q-tip. I'm going to drop a little bit of acetone, and let's just clean that up. So here, just like when you use like a marker, or not even a marker, but more like a pen, you can use this as a pen and start eliminating the stuff that was overspray here. That's why I use the precision tip here, because you can use it just like a pen and really get nice fine lines out of it. So imagine like you're painting, but instead of painting with a brush, you're painting with a Q-tip. That's what I'm doing here. There we go. So that's how you start to define your area. So if you went over your area and you're like, shoot, you know, there's overspray, what do I do? On leather, that works really well. Okay. Now, some word of advice for you guys. You guys just saw me do that here on this leather. It doesn't work like that on all leathers. Some leathers you'll leave marks and stains. So you do got to be careful, you know, before you start jumping in and dropping acetone all over the place. Acetone is super strong. What I do recommend, though, if you want to be more safe, you could use this Prepare and Deglazer. It's kind of like a watered down version of acetone. And you can use a Q-tip, and that'll be another way for you to get at that. All right. So let's get the paint out. Let's get one of these guys done, or close to done. Let's try to get as far as we can. Push this to the side. All right. Now, no matter what I do, it doesn't matter if I'm working on one or the other. It's just you got to knock them out. So let me just go ahead and concentrate on one. Where's that 12-0 at? I was hyping this 12-0 up and it ran away. There it is. All right, 12-0. Let's get at it. Need to grab, I think I had a little brush palette here. I do. Sick. Since we're not using a bunch of different paints, I'll just jump on that one. And we've got some black paint. I don't know if it's enough to pour out, but let's try it. Let's try it. All right, and then we had some yellow. Where'd the airbrush go in general? Oh, here it is. All right, and I think this might dump out too. So I'm gonna just leave these for a second, let gravity do its work real quick. Sneaky Ricky! Congratulations, homie, you want some sunglasses. Nice, man. Sneaky Ricky. If you're there, let me know, man. I think your Patreon family won again, bro. I think last time it was Alan. Alan ended up winning. And what was it last time? I think it was a set of shoelaces. So that's cool, man. I'm glad you won, homie. Sneaky Ricky, when you get a chance, hit me up. You got your choice. I've got a set of black and I've got a set of white sunglasses, homie. I'll have them sent out to you tomorrow. All right, so this is doing its thing. I think maybe I'll grab a little bit of that same yellow we used earlier. So we got a combination of some different paints. Actually, you know what? Let me wait. I'm going to wait on this one and I'll show you why. But I do have some gray taupe that I want to use too. So that way we'll have some mix of different colors. Maybe if I have a brown or a dark brown, that will work too. Let's see. I think this one might work. Hopefully my whole iPad doesn't fall on me here. Sick. Cool. So I got some rich brown, some black, some yellow, and a little bit of mustard. All right, that's what's coming out. Wade, have a great night, man. Thanks for joining, homie. Oh, nothing came out. Crazy. Okay, so then that just means I got to clean that brush out. So that's all good. I'll just mix a little black here. Next is going to be a little bit of brown. I noticed that the wings have brown on them, so on this one I'll drop a little brown. And I'm putting them right next to each other. Let's see. Okay, we got a little bit of paint on this. Cool. And then I'll add, ooh, this one was uncapped. Barely made it, boy. That was about to fall everywhere. And I'll drop that yellow right next to the other yellow. There we go. All right, y'all. So we got a little bit of darks. We got a little bit of lights. And I got one in the middle. This is a gray taupe. And I'll put that kind of by the other colors that look that color. Come on, buddy. There we go. Cool. And what I'll do here is I'll mix the colors together and make a third color here. It's kind of in between. And I'll do the same thing over here. I'll flip this and get some almost like a darker brown. Now I just went from like having 4 or 5 colors to 7. All right. And now let's start defining things. All right. So again, I'm using this 12-0. I talked to you guys about, I like this brush a lot because it does a lot of things. And one of the things I said is line work is incredible on this. So I'm going to just take, let me show you guys. Can you all see that? It was barely anything on the tip there. All right. It's just enough where now I can start defining things. So before I do that though, let me make sure that, is this a stencil? It looks like it. It is. See that? It's important that we got all the little pieces out before it starts to get all tangled up and you can't see anything. So now I see, for example, this line work that I could do here. And this is like the definition of where his arms and things are, okay? And it looks like I missed a little bit of his body here. So let me just go ahead and start to line things in. As I'm lining things in, I'm kind of thinking about the way his movement is. He's kind of crouching over to the right side, almost trying to get on this panel. So really I want to try to concentrate on making him look like he's doing that even with his body movement, kind of wiggling that way. It's a good way to define him, right? So again, his whole body should be looking this way. So his eyes also going to be looking that way. So this is a good opportunity for you guys to, like, if you see him, you know, he's there and he's not exactly like perfectly like in position yet. You can start to make him look like he's going a certain way. I'm going to leave a little bit of separation between his eyes and this black paint here, so then that way I can kind of get an idea of, okay, that's where his eyes are at, and then we'll start to define all that stuff a little bit later on. But there I got his head, and then underneath his head he's got like this, man, it's crazy what these guys look like. It's like 3, it almost looks like a W, so I almost got to just paint it out. But the designs on these things are nuts, man. Like, this is Mother Nature telling you, yo, this thing is super colorful for a reason. Not the type of creature you want to mess around with. Alright, so that's what this comes out looking like. Again, just adding just a gentle amount of paint on there. And I'm just looking to try to recreate the exact same bee, or something close to it. I think right now, since you guys can't see it, let me move this over. That way it's a little bit easier for you guys to see what's going on. Here we go. Is that good? Yeah, y'all can see that okay? So now I just got to angle this where I could see it okay. Alright, so we're still in screen here, and I'm Just trying to shoot this one. All right, so we got the W here, so we can start to define the yellow and stuff around the W, or black around the W, sorry. And this goes back to line work that I was telling you guys about. See how thin this brush can be, where you don't have to switch brushes. Just, you know, that saves me a lot of time when I don't have to switch brushes. This stinger's got to be like nice and big. It needs to look intimidating, right? Let me go ahead and move this before I slice my elbow open. All right. So now let's see what else we got here. Trying to really define, figuring out where things are. See how thin this can actually get. That's the base of his wing. Again, I'm just dealing with black paint right now, just getting an idea where things are. Alright, so stinger is there. His other wing that looks like we didn't define it all the way. It's over here. I remember when I first started this kind of work, I used to be very intimidated because I'm like, yo, I can't paint outside the lines, you know? And I felt that doing the line work this way is a lot easier, because once you establish, like, okay, this is where the bee's at, I can't go outside of this bee's lines, it makes things a little bit more easier to deal with and cope with. Because now I'm on the inside here and I could just paint over things. Alright, let's start to define this little back end here. So he has a little bit of black there. And he's got this crazy segment right here. So let's separate the segments out a little bit. So I've got one segment about right here. Now keep in mind I've got that Wu-Tang symbol here, so it's a little bit different than what the picture looks like. So I'm kind of freestyling this basically. But I know he's got 3 body segments, so I gotta make sure that gets a little defined. And then this is the second segment here. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I get this right. Okay, that looks pretty good. I mean, I can certainly work on that a little bit more. And then this body segment here is somewhere around this section. All right, so that's enough, I think, of the black, because now I've gotten a good idea where his general body is. And so now I can start doing a little bit of shading. So that's going to be coming up next. I think I mentioned this to you guys before, but each one of these bees is taking about 3.5, 4 hours. And I'm trying to get to the point where I'm cutting some time out on each of the bees because it's taking a long time. Just in general, just taking a long time. And it's hard to substantiate taking so much time at a certain price, you know? Alright, now I'm going to drop a little bit of brown in there. Start switching over to brown. I can see a lot of brown on his wings. They're not necessarily veins in his wings, but it looks like that you could see all the stems and stuff, and so they're very like defined. They're very detailed. So they don't need to be perfect, but you know, you want to try to emulate something along that same line. And this is when it's a good time to use different colors and try to define. Sorry guys if I'm not talking to you. I'm just I'm over here just kind of, you know, I'm in the zone. You know how it is when you're in the zone, you're just feeling it. So I'm trying to do what I can and knock out as much as I can on live. I think yesterday when we had that little airbrush issue, man, that kind of set us back a little bit. I'm putting a little bit of brown in the eyes here just to start to define the eyes from the body. It's kind of hard because he's got like little bits of black and brown everywhere, you know, so I'm just trying to do my best here to get somewhere close to it. Doesn't need to be perfect, but somewhere close. I think I told you guys the other day, if you're going to practice working on realism, this is the kind of realism you want to practice on, because instead of it being like an actual like character that people recognize, for example, like if you're trying to draw like, you know, Barack Obama, for example, everybody knows what he looks like. So if you get the dimension of his face or his nose or something messed up, it's a lot more difficult to get that to be perfect than, for example, bees, where they're more of a general kind of, you know, art figure that you could draw. So that's where I'm at right now. Maybe I put a little bit too much brown in there. Yo, killing the villain, no problem, man. Sorry again, bro. I hope I didn't mess you up too hard on that raffle, homie. I didn't mean to say pound raffle. It's just I'm so used to it. I'll see you soon, man. Thank you again. Guys, we're going to just jump on a little bit of yellow now. And, you know, it doesn't really matter which yellow I start with, but I do know I need to start defining a little bit of yellow on his body and face. So let me go ahead and now, as the browns are kind of drying, let's get in that midsection of the body and just kind of develop, you know, what I think should look like a midsection here with the position that he's at. This is a good time if you need a shade. This is a perfect opportunity in the inside of the body if you need a shade to, you know, take advantage of that. If you need a detail, you can detail. See how all I'm doing here is taking a little bit of paint. Let's first decipher. This is his next segment of his body. It's about right here. And I'm going to have him leaning towards the right. So you'll see the body kind of twerk there, or the segment twerk there. So we get that right. And then I'll add just a little bit of yellow in these sections here. And this should kind of help define, like, oh yeah, he's moving that way. Because we're having both of them kind of veer to the right. Alright. Could use a little bit of yellow here on the top. Cool, got that done. Now I'm going to grab the brightest yellow here, guys. The brighter yellow, and I'm going to just try to add some warmth to it, get it to be a little bit brighter. This is Do the Right Thing yellow that I'm using here. Again, I'm just trying to emulate like which way he's looking. If you add yellow in the wrong spots, it's okay, guys. Just adding a couple of little dots at the same time. Just to give it like more of a fuzzy look, like he has little hairs growing off of him. Aaron Murphy, what's good? Yeah, the SBs, man. These are the I mean, I don't even know what they called these. They were yellow and black. I know that they were trying to call them Wu-Tang Dunks. They're definitely not Wu-Tang Dunks, because I think Wu-Tang Dunks are like in the thousands. But these are the ones that just came out recently, bro. How you been, Aaron? Everything good, man? All right, let's drop in a little bit of grays here now, okay? So this is how you can start to define the shoe a little bit more, or the bee a little bit more, is just adding just bits of detail to it. I mean, obviously the bees are black and yellow, but they have all kinds of defining other colors for it, so trying to get just somewhere close to that. Doesn't need to be perfect. But certainly nice to add that kind of extra love to your characters here. Oh, we got to do the eyes. Good time to just add in the eyes. You can see the eyes are black. But here's a good way to define them. So as I let that dry, you can add a little bit of other colors to it too. For example, this is brown now. And this is a way you can blend paints in as they're wet. That's when you blend the paints in. All right, he got all kinds of like little dots on his head too, and they're all almost like the similar gray here. So I'm gonna just use a little bit and put little dots all over his face, just like it looks like in the picture. For this, you got to pick up just very, very minimal paint and sporadically just kind of put dots all over his face. As easy as that sounds, it still takes some kind of skill. Because if you press too hard, you're gonna have a big old dot on there. So let's try our best to just detail out. And then if you mess up on it, just go back over it. Little dots are all over his body. So that's where we're at. Alright, y'all, what's the time at? We're an hour and 42 in, y'all. So I'm going to take a break, guys. Time is 7:12. I'll give you guys 3 minutes to see if you guys have any questions behind what we did today. Again, if you guys need any of this material, I think I pretty much got everything down in the description of our stream on YouTube, so youtube.com/feelgoodthreads. If you go to the live section, you'll see it. But let me just I'll drop the link. I think I have it still here. Let's see. If not, let me see if I can still get it. But yeah, y'all got some time to ask questions if you have any questions. Oh, shit. Still there. There you go. So that's the paint. That's the airbrush. That's the Princeton brushes that I just used. Namely even the 12-0. The other brushes that I do use, and this is for more, dedicated projects. For example, I don't need these big ones today, but the smaller ones I use all the time as well. It's just I wanted to really highlight the 12-0 because I didn't know that they still had this brush. I missed it on my last order, but I definitely didn't miss it this time around. I think they were probably like, what's wrong with this guy? He ordered this many of this same brush. But it's because I just didn't know that they had it, and I've been saving this brush. I've been using it for years. Make sure that on your detail brushes, you always clean them off after you're done with them, especially if you're using like a GAC 200 or a Too Hard, something that'll really mess up all the bristles, So just something to keep in mind. How I usually like to clean my brushes, and I know there's 1,000,001 different ways to clean them, but I like to just put a little bit of acetone in a cup and clean both sides off. I try not to mash the brush, because once you mash the brush, mash meaning like smash it into the bowl here. Once the bristles get all messed up, then it's a wrap. It just doesn't work as well. But that's usually how easy it is to clean the brush off. So always a good idea to clean these guys up afterwards, unless you like to spend like $10 on a new brush every time you do a project. For me, I'm always looking to save money on projects, and that way you can spend money on other things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, with that said, guys, I think I'm going to take a break now, but y'all have another minute or so. If you guys haven't followed me on social media is up here at Feel Good Threads at almost everywhere except for Instagram right now. Temporarily, we're at Feel Good Threads LA. If you guys would like to see the full version of this shoot completely detailed, and all the other things that I do to show you guys how to finish off this project, please join us at patreon.com/feelgoodthreads. Giveaway. This giveaway is going to be for the paint that I was using today, Alpha Flex. So I got a whole variety pack of Alpha Flex paints here by Alpha 6 Corporation. 50 followers. We just hit it. Thank you guys for getting us to 50, first of all. But more importantly, the people who are in the giveaway tier, I really appreciate you guys. That paint right there is about $150 in paint. It's really, really good stuff. So I'm really happy to see that. It's been working really well on the shoes. So I'm really happy to give you guys the experience of owning a pair, is it a dozen? 3, 6, 9, owning 9 pairs, 9 paints. So you guys can start working on your own projects too, And we're going to be filming that this Friday. And so I think on Saturday we'll make the announcement on who wins that for Patreon. All right, Sneaky Ricky, please hit me up, bro. I don't know if you're still there or not, but if you're not, it's all good. I'll contact you. I know you're Patreon family as well, man. So thank you so much. Everybody, I don't have any questions, so I'm going to take my break and go eat some dinner. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.